Hey RYU, my name's Sandra and I'm a yoga instructor and ambassador at the Kitsilano store in Vancouver. Today I'm going to be taking you through a short power yoga flow to help open up your body and build strength in this time that we're at home. So what you need for this class is just a mat, maybe 2 blocks if you have them, but anything will do to give you just a little bit of extra height. We're going to get started on your mat in tabletop position. So start by placing your hands underneath your shoulders, spread your 10 fingers wide, place your knees underneath your hips, and we'll take a few rounds of cat and cow here, opening up the spine. Inhale, breath. Exhale, round it in. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to round. Just take 2 more of those on your own breath. Enjoy the sensations through the spine and feel free to take any other movement here. Eventually settling into your tabletop. And take your knees a little bit wider, sending your weight back and your arms forward for child's pose. And we're not going to stay here yet. But begin to slide your body through your arms, allowing your chest to come down and then roll through, coming up into a cobra. Hello. Send your weight back into child's pose. Pause there for a moment. And then on your inhale, roll through your arms once again. Exhale your way back, child's pose. Take 1 more like that, just enjoying the sensation through your spine, arching through your back. And exhale your way down into child's pose. You can either take the same thing, or if you'd like to up it a level, make your way into downward facing dog. We'll do exactly the same thing, but this time we're rolling from downward facing dog to upward facing dog. Elbows right beside the body, over the toes, downward dog. Inhale, roll it through. Exhale, send it back, downward dog. 1 more on your own. Meeting in downward dog. Paddle through your feet here, right and left. And feel free to take any other movement. I like to send my hips over to the side, stretching into the sides of the waist. Meeting back in downward dog. Roll forward here into plank. So roll through the body all the way through the spine. Head comes last. On your exhale, bend your knees and send your butt up high into downward dog. This is like waving forward into plank and then sending your hips nice and high. And you might get into a rhythm here as you wave forward, send it back, wave forward, send it back. Take 1 more like this, finding your way downward dog. Draw your big toes together at the back of your mat and send your right leg back and up to the sky. And then draw your knee in towards your nose as you round forward. Hold it there. And then inhale back to 3-legged dog. Exhale to round forward. Knee and nose might touch. Inhale, send it back. 1 more like that. Round forward. Inhale back. And then step to your right thumb, gently lowering your left knee down to the ground for a low lunge. Arms will lift up over your ears. And then settle here into your right knee, keeping it over top of your right ankle. Tailbone should be rooting down to keep your hips square to the front. And then just settle here into your hips. Drawing arms to meet into eagle. So the right elbow goes underneath the left, crossing at the elbows, and then the palms touch. Lift your elbows a bit higher and your hands away from your face. Take a mini back bend on an inhale and breath. And on your exhale, begin to come forward. Now use your core here to pull yourself back up. And exhale forward. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale down. Using the core to pull yourself back up, release your arms. Tuck your back toes if they're not already. And on your next breath, start to make your way up into your crescent lunge. Now keep your right knee over your right ankle. Draw your arms into cactus and then lower the back knee down. You should feel this into your thighs. On your inhale, begin to straighten your arms and your back leg, and try not to let your body move up and down here as we exhale into cactus. Inhale, straighten that back leg. Exhale. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, cactus. Inhale to straighten. And then exhale as your arms come forward. This is an L stand as you float the back leg behind you. And you can always use your blocks here underneath your palms. Flex your left toes as though you're standing on an imaginary wall behind you. And then notice where your right hip is. See if you can draw it back and your left hip down. Hi. Now from here, lengthen through the spine. And on your exhale, bend both of your knees like a curtsy. And then straighten everything back to that L stand. Exhale it down. Inhale, straighten. One more. And straighten. Now the option here is to remove your hands to your heart and try the same thing. Exhaling down. Inhale to straighten, warrior three. Exhale down. You should feel this in the right glute. Inhale. Last time. Inhale, this time hands are coming down. We'll take the curtsy all the way down to the ground this time into a seated twist. Make sure that both of your sits bones are anchored to the ground, and then place your right hand behind you. Left arm draws up, and then exhale, twist over to the right. Use the back hand as a kickstand to draw yourself a little bit taller, and twisting over to the right. And coming back through center, uncross your legs and find boat pose, Navasana, to work on your core, with the option floating arms alongside the body. Lift from the heart, squeeze the lower belly in for 3, 2, 1. Lower halfway down, keep your heels, shoulders lifted, and squeeze the belly button down to the ground for 3, 2, 1. Back up into your boat. Option to straighten your legs here. Then cross at the ankles, flow through a vinyasa, making your way back up. Downward facing dog. And feel free to take child's pose at any time. You can always press pause to grab a sip of water. Meeting with your big toes together at the back of your mat, send your left leg back and up to the sky. Keep your hips square. On your exhale, rounded knee and nose might touch. Press the ground away. And then inhale it back, three-legged dog. Exhale, round it in. Inhale, straighten. Last time, rounding it in, hold it here. Inhale, straighten. And then exhale, step to your left thumb. Low lunge. Bending that right knee down and arms up to the sky. Try to keep this lunge really active, so we're not just hanging out here, but the inner thighs are working towards one another. Eagle arms, left elbow under the right cross. At elbows, hands touch. Lift your elbows high and your hands away from your face. Keep rooting the tailbone down, and on your inhale, take a mini back bend. On your exhale, fold forward. Inhale it back. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. Exhale down. And on your inhale, release your arms overhead. Make sure your back toes are tucked. And then straighten your back leg, finding crescent lunge. Strong legs here, high on the back toes. Take your arms into cactus. And then bend that back knee so it's hovering off of the ground. And then as you straighten it, think about shooting that back heel back without lifting the torso higher. So exhale down. Inhale, straighten the back leg. Exhale down. Inhale to straighten. Last time on your own. And then when you're ready, start to send your arms forward. Lift your right leg back behind you into L stand, flexing the right toes. Keep your hips nice and square and try to lengthen through the spine instead of rounding at the lower back. Now start to bend both of your knees into that curtsy and inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten. And one more time. Now, option here to take hands to hearts. A lot more balance, a lot more into the glutes here. Finding your way. Don't forget to breathe, exhaling down. Inhale to straighten, and then placing your hands to the blocks. This time as we curtsy, we'll come all the way down onto your mat for seated twist. Left hand will root back behind you. Right arm up to the sky. Hello. What did you bring for me? Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're taking a seated twist here. Bye. Rooting down into your left hand, lengthening through your spine. Slowly unwind back through center, coming back into our boat or Navasana pose. Work on lengthening through your spine and lifting your heart high. And then option, release your hands, hold it there. We're lowering down halfway to boat. Try to keep your heels and shoulders off the ground as you squeeze inner thighs together. Right back up into boat pose. Option to straighten your legs. And then cross your legs. Make your way through Vinyasa. Meeting back downward facing dog. Big toes will meet together at the back of your mat, and then send your right leg high to the sky. This time, draw your right knee to your right shoulder with the option to take a push-up. Inhale, send it back three-legged. Exhale over to your left shoulder, optional push-up. Inhale, three-legged. Exhale, round the spine, hold it here as you press the ground away. And then step forward right between your thumbs, spiraling that back foot down into warrior two, arms up and over. Sink here into your nice long warrior stance. Strong right leg. Arms reach forward and back. Gaze over your right fingertips. Take one more breath. Exhale, straighten the front leg. We're moving here into triangle pose. You can always take a block inside or outside of your right foot. The hips will reach back and the body roots forward. And then exhale as you pivot your arms into Trikonasana. Imagine that your body here is in between two panes of glass. Reaching up, reaching down. Listen carefully on your exhale. Take your left hand down to meet your right. And then imagine that you've got a bow and arrow here. Pull yourself all the way back and open, using lots of imaginary resistance. Inhale, open. Exhale. Last time, open it up. Hold it here. Then place your left hand to your hip. You can bring your block with you if you like, transitioning into our half moon as you float your left leg back behind you. Flex the toes, and then begin to open up here across the chest. When you've found your balance, listen carefully, bending into your right knee, and then straighten back into your half moon. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Try it again with your hand at your heart as an option. It's super windy today. One more time. Exhale. Inhale, straighten. And this time, as you bend, step all the way back into warrior two. Taking just one more breath. And exhale as the arms cartwheel down around the front foot. Bend your back knee and flex your right toes forward. We're moving here into a half split. Blocks are a great option on either side. as you square your hips and begin to fold over your right leg. Now try not to round your lower back and collapse here, but instead think of a long line of energy from your tailbone all the way up the spine. And keep that as you begin to take the elbows wide. Now listen carefully, root your hands down firmly into the blocks, and on your inhale, see if you can lift your right foot, flexed off of the ground, and lower. Inhale to lift, exhale, lower. One more time, hold it there. Exhale, lower, with the option now of moving into your fuller version of splits. Notice that my back toes behind me are still tucked. If I put them down and untuck them, it's really easy for me to just collapse here and open my left hip. So instead, I like to keep them tucked so that my hips stay nice and square. And just taking one more breath. Start to make your way back into your low lunge. You can bring your blocks with you forward or remove them as you come back into your L stand. I'm going to offer here a few hops if you're feeling brave and comfortable with just taking a little bit of air time. Then hop off your standing foot and land on the other. It doesn't have to go high. It can just be a little hop, or it can be a big hop through handstand, maybe finding some air time, playing around, and then eventually stepping, hopping, or floating your way back through vinyasa. In downward dog, just pedal out your feet or feel free to open up your hip. That right hip flexor might feel a little bit sore after those half split hovers. And big toes are touching together. We'll try the other side. On your inhale, send your left leg back and up to the sky. Exhale to your left shoulder with the option of a push-up. Inhale, send it back. Exhale to the right tricep, optional push-up. Inhale it back. Exhale, round forward, knee and nose might touch. And step between your thumbs for warrior two legs. Inhale the arms up and over. Settle here into your lunge. Strong legs. Relax your shoulders, but keep your arms engaged. And just take one more breath. We're moving into triangle pose here. You might bring a block inside of your front foot. Straighten the front leg, send your hips back. Draw your body forward, and then exhale as you pivot your arms, reaching left hand down, right arm up to the sky. We'll take that bow and arrow resistance drill here. So on your exhale, draw your right hand down to the left, and then imagine that you're pulling a really, really stiff bow and arrow. Exhale down. Inhale, pull. Exhale down. Inhale to open and hold it here. And right hand to your hip. Gaze down at your front foot. You can bring the block with you if you like. Moving into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Flex your right toes as though you're standing on a wall. And then begin to open up across the chest. We'll do that same drill, bending into the front knee. And then straightening back and up. Exhale down. Inhale, straighten. Option here to take your left hand to your heart, same thing. Inhale, straighten. Last time. Inhale, straighten, and then bending your knee as you step all the way back, finding warrior two for one breath. Then exhale your arms down around the front foot, pivot the back toe forward, and then lower the back knee for half split. As you send your weight back, flex your left toes up. And again, remember to have a long line of energy through your spine. If there's space, keep that straight spine and begin to fold forward, continuing to pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. Pause here. And then begin to straighten your arms. We'll do those hovers. This is really tough. So root down into your hands and inhale, pick up that left heel and exhale to lower. Inhale, exhale, release. Last time, hold it here a little bit higher if you can. Exhale, lower. All right, start to walk forward and back if you'd like into a deeper variation of your splits. This is my weaker side, so I'm going to pause here. I've got my back toes tucked just to make sure that my hips stay nice and square. Breathe deeply to help release tension through your hamstrings. Take in one more breath. And exhale, planting that front foot. You can remove the blocks if you'd like to try those jump switches into handstand. Coming into your L stand first, hips are nice and square. Now just jump switch here, try your best to slow yourself down on the way down. And that'll help to build strength in your shoulders, in your core. Take one more when you're ready. Either step hop or float your way back. Lost my balance there. Making your way back into your downward dog. And when you're ready, knees will come down to the mat. We'll take a nice child's pose here. Forehead to the ground, hips to the heels. Slowly make your way back up and find a seated position. I would encourage you to take a Shavasana now because you've deserved it. And if you have any questions about this practice, please let me know in the comments. I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.